All right. Happy Friday, everybody. This is your host, Crystal Jordan. Of course, this is Rolling Out Slash from Crystal with Love XO. And I'm so glad that you guys are hanging out with me on a Friday night. Now, usually we talk about Ready to Love. However, we have a much bigger conversation because we know that OWN loves to show us about relationships in the infancy stages. But Love and Marriage Huntsville is where we see how this actually happens and how it goes down. And this couple, this is the first time that they are here together. So please help me welcome the very beautiful LaTisha and, of course, the very handsome Marsau, who's looking very good.
Yeah. Hey, Crystal.
Hello, how are you guys doing this weekend, this evening?
Good. How are you?
Doing
I
very
am
well.
good. I'm good.
Listen, it's past my bedtime, so
It cannot possibly be when you own a cigar bar. Like,
Right.
he's there. He's there all the time. I'm here with the kids.
I'm gonna be a stay-at-home dad while she watches the cigar lounge.
How has it been? Because we've seen that's one of the biggest things, Love and Marriage Huntsville. We see a lot of the interaction, but we also see you all really doing a lot of business, and we know that it's really important to you, especially Marcia. You talk a lot about legacy. Both you and Maurice talk a lot about that. So how has it been opening the lounge and having fans from the show be able to come and actually meet you guys or be looking out for you guys and interacting with you all?
Well, it's been very rewarding. Just us being able to do this cigar lounge. I mean, it's part of a legacy is that my great grandfather is the very first person I remember like smoking pipes. And every time we'd go to their house in Chicago, we'd see Parain upstairs and they'd smoke a pipe. And that's kind of where I first got introduced to just that smell of the cigar. And it kind of was very nostalgic for me. So, so opening the cigar lounge has been near and dear to my heart. And just seeing the fans come in. And I think what I like most about it is the fact that they come in and like, oh my God, you're like
here.
You're here, but you're just this regular dude.
Yeah.
So like, I can get the picture, we can come in, sit down and chill, but then after a while it fades away. Like, oh yeah, that's just Marsau over there. Because that's all I've been, it's just Marsau.
Okay. Tisha, what about you? Because I know a lot of times the fans are a little intrusive, at least they are on social media. So are you adapting well to being able to, to having a lot of people in your face all the time, or has it actually made it better? Like Marsau says, kind of them realize that you're a real person.
Yeah, actually, the fans that come to the cigar lounge, they're like fans of the show and fans of me and Marsau, so they're really nice. They're just happy to see us. They want to take a picture. So they're super, super nice. Now, when I go to my sorority events, those fans of the show, they want to come and beat Marsau with an umbrella. So it's totally different there. But the ones that come to the cigar lounge, I mean, they're pretty nice. They're like, they really love the show. They have great advice. Some of them has been married for a while. They bring their husband in, and they like to give me and Marsau advice about our marriage.
Hey, but you know what? It be them same ones that come up to the cigar lounge and all of the stuff to say, but we just know that they ain't gonna say it in our face.
That's true. That's true. And I've told both all the ladies that have come on. Now, my background has been an entertainment publicist, and I've always said to people, like, you have to understand it comes with the territory.
Yeah. And
you have to realize that, a dog howls at the moon does not howl back at the dog. So if you are the person, at that place where people are looking at you, you really just can't listen to the comments,
Right.
I'm not there yet.
Believe me.
I'll listen, I respond back, I get back at it. I'm just another dog hollering at another dog.
I see you. I see
you got a bigger bite.
What has changed recently is, we're going to get into some of the specifics, but Marsau, it seemed like the first couple of seasons, you are like the ultimate. You're always calm, cool, and collected. You have a smart mouth that I actually can appreciate because you're very witty. It never seemed disrespectful, but it is very witty. So you have to be very quick to pick up on Marsau's wit. But what changed and made you actually like start to say, I'm going to actually respond and kind of start going back at people? Because I just don't feel like we got that. You seemed very removed from it the first couple of seasons.
Well,
Well, at first they told us not to. Remember?
Well, I think that my thing is this. Are you talking about on like
On
social media?
Oh no, I've been like that all my life. I've always done it. Yeah, I've been this. Matter of fact, when we first got and they said we're gonna make our accounts public, I deleted my account because
he started over.
I was so bad.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, I deleted my old account because it was terrible. But now, see, listen, we grew up poor. And so social media to me is like a lunch table.
Yeah.
Well, you got jokes, I got jokes. And we'll see who's funnier because maybe you can say this. Then again, maybe you can't.
Right.
But in general, I try not to be, what I don't do is strike first.
Okay.
Right? I don't strike first, and I'm more of a protector. But once you get to the point where you want to start talking about people and things that they can't help, or things that are, just things that to me that are below the belt, then I just feel like there's a time in my life and in people's lives. I mean, I ain't no Will Smith type protector, but necessarily,
Right.
But I will say at the time, like, I'll show you how this feels. You want to talk about my loved one? Let me see if I talk about your loved one. Let's see how this feels.
Yeah.
And that's how it goes.
I'm not mad at that. I actually thought I realized that we thought you weren't ever on Instagram. And so we assumed that maybe you were just super private and you weren't really into it. But we were like, oh no, Marsau's with the shits.
Oh yeah.
No, he was on Facebook. Like that was his thing. Facebook was his thing. And he was like, oh, I gotta learn how to do Instagram. Because before the show, like none of us was really active. With the Scotts, we wasn't really active on Instagram like that.
Yeah, I wasn't active.
So yeah, he just opened up his account once the show started. We had to have an IG account. He opened up his account then. Yeah. But he's big on Facebook because he loves
debates. It's like debates and stuff like that. You just go back and forth like that. But the funniest thing to me is like people just want to slip in a slide comment. And only thing I don't like about Instagram is you can't see everybody's profile. Like you can't see their pictures.
Right. It's private. It's private.
Right.
Because see the people that have the most to say.
Yes.
It's the audacity. Is it the audacity for you too? It's the audacity for me, man.
It is. But that happens. It happens all the time. And the bigger you get, the more it will continue. So just from an old entertainment publicist, you just got to learn how to not.
I will be a top CEO responding back to people in cubicles. That's how God made me. Blame
you know what?
him.
I'm going to ask you guys this because we talk about marriage, and you actually brought the situation up, Marsau, with the Will Smith situation with you all, and we understand that you guys probably don't know them personally, right? Okay. When you all watched the what happened at the Oscars a couple of weeks ago, what were your thoughts as a married couple? Like watching it. I'll start with you. What did you think of the behavior that we saw? And what was your what were your initial first thoughts about that whole situation?
You gonna go?
No, you go first.
Oh, me first. I was like, keep his wife's name out your motherfucking mouth.
That is what he said.
That's how I felt. Did you think that you're gonna come with the jokes? But apparently his wife was having a sensitive situation for her. So as the husband, who knows what she's vented to her husband about that? Right. So he felt like it was his duty to protect his wife. So I'm with it.
You're with it. So if you all had been sitting someplace and Marsau knows you're upset, would you expect him to react that way?
Well, I actually try to calm him down because I don't want anything bad to happen.
Marsau's probably not going to go up the stage and smack a comedian. Just to be honest. All right. Now Marsau might have some jokes about him and his wife, and Marsau might have people around him laughing or whatever. But I'm not about to go and smack a comedian. I do think that they both got a chance to grow that night, because the truth is you can get on stage and maybe you can say these jokes. Then again, maybe you can't. And my personal opinion is that I think that Will Smith is a little confused at this time with how to please his wife. Yeah. And he doesn't quite understand You know, honestly, I just think Will ain't Jada's first choice.
Why would you say that?
Wow.
You
I
don't
think
know that.
I think that's I think and Will is trying to fight in every different. This is my opinion.
Right, but I feel like it's like that's like people judging your marriage.
I didn't say well, it is, but what I'm saying is that I was asked his opinion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I just feel like from what it appears to be is that he is acting out in a way that is trying to earn respect from all avenues, whether it's being open, whether it's being emotionally intelligent, whether it's accepting her sexuality or her desire for outside, whatever, or just in every avenue, he's trying to be this person that at the end of the day, he's a great guy. You just don't want him. And sometimes we got to deal with that.
No, I think what Marsau is saying, people say Marsau is spitting facts. I think a lot of people agree with that. And you're right, Tisha, we don't know them. None of us know them personally.
Yeah,
but,
sorry, Will, don't smack me, bro, because I punch back.
But I do think because you guys talk about marriage and you've been married for so long, that's why I asked you, because I think that when I hear a lot of whys, and I just got remarried, so according to Marsau,
yes.
How long has it been? How long you been married?
Pardon?
How long you been married?
I just got married in October.
Or October what?
October 4th, because my birthday is the 3rd and his is the 5th. So you guys,
they're Libras too.
Yes.
Word.
Like by default, my favorite couple, because you're both Libras.
How long was your first marriage?
11 years.
There we go.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You had kids in that marriage?
Yeah. And then I was single about 11 years. And then I just recently, opened up enough to even be able to do that.
How long y'all date?
We dated for a year and he proposed, and then we got married about a year later.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Is he older?
Is he older?
Yeah.
No, he's
younger.
No, he's age appropriate, Marsau.
Now age appropriate from us. Like now that thing swing, man. You got 20 over and 20 under, man. That's age appropriate.
It does not swing. Actually, he is actually 2 years younger than I am. So
I'm getting a couple questions for you.
I see, and I that's perfect, because I love the fact that you guys, this at the end of the day, this show is about marriage, and it shows marriage in different stages, right? And you guys, I know to have been married as long as you all have, you've gone through a lot. Like, this show is, probably different than what you've gone through, but marriage takes a lot of work, and it takes a huge commitment, right?
Yes.
So I respect that. And I respect the fact that you all would be willing to put your marriage on television, because I just know from being around the industry, that's very hard. It can be difficult, it can bring new issues into, a marriage that may not have been there before, especially when you have friends whose marriages may not be going headed the same direction as you all, right? I got married the first time in college, so I was well aware. And my husband, I think, was a frat brother of yours, Marsau. So,
amazing man.
I'm happy y'all survived 11 years.
I'm assuming that the demise is probably your fault, but that's me being biased.
You know what? I asked that. That's me stepping into it, but no. So I know what happens when you have friends that may, they have different. My dog is tangled up in the computer. But no, we had friends that their marriages or their relationships weren't on the same trajectory as ours. That can be difficult, right? So I feel like the show, you guys there were close relationships, and then one of the marriages, obviously Martell and Melody, definitely was headed down a different trajectory. That could be hard on everyone's marriage, because you guys are all kind of in the same little group.
Yeah.
And so I think we've watched you guys struggle to keep your marriage intact when a lot of that from their marriage has threatened everybody's marriage, marriage. And you all have been able to do that. And I admire that, but I know it's not easy.
Yes.
I don't think that made us struggle to keep our marriage intact.
Well, one, because we do have other friend groups, our college friends. They're all married as well. Okay. And so we bounced, and they've been married for 10, 5, like it's been long marriages in that group as well.
Yeah.
So we have that group, you know, that we talk to. And then, but like you said, dealing with the Mel and Martell situation, then we have Kimmy and Reese that's newlywed. And then in Huntsville, I think we're the longest marriage couple around our circle here in Huntsville.
Well, yeah, and I think that the challenge with marriage that we didn't like up until then, all of our challenges in marriage were internal.
Yeah.
And so it was between how she and I chose to cooperate with each other and how we do certain things and how we love on each other and how we fight for more time to be with each other instead of growing apart. And so that's been our challenge up until this point. And now for the first time, the challenges were external, you know? And, you know, personally, I think that it has helped us to a certain extent because, you know, it's like watching, you know, remember Michael Jackson Thriller?
Of course.
When they're walking around and they're coming out the movie theater and they're just happy-go-lucky, and then all the zombies come around and then they just go back to back. It's like us against the world. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing that we needed to make sure that we survived is for neither one of us to turn to a zombie. So,
Okay.
there is that.
That has got to be difficult, though, especially because you guys keep getting pulled back into it. I want to ask you, Tisha, I know we've talked about this before. The relationship with Melody, in my opinion, and I could be wrong, the chat always lets me know if I am, but in my opinion, you guys' relationship kind of was a casualty of war with their marriage falling apart. Do you feel like the issues with you and Melody are simply because your marriage stayed intact and hers did not? Or do you think that you guys always had issues and we just didn't see that?
We didn't have issues. I think the issue came honestly with Martell, when Melody and Martell started going through their problems. And I honestly think Martell blamed the guys. And I think Melody, as his wife, she believed that. And that's when we started having an issue, because it's like, you're not going to attack my husband and my marriage because of something the decision that your husband made.
Right.
So I think that's what caused it. But before that, like when we first found out that Martell was messing around on Melody, like her and I was there for her. Like, and we didn't see that on the show because it was way before the show even started.
Right.
But we bonded over that. And I mean, it was to the point where I didn't even like Martell anymore because of what he was doing, what he was taking her through.
Right.
And then it's like, she kind of flipped. You know, she started blaming us for it. And then so like our friendship it was like, we just stopped hanging out as much and we just went our separate ways for like a whole year. And then when the show when they wanted us to audition for the show, that's when we started back hanging back out with them and started back talking to them. And unfortunately, when we first started filming, that's a part of the show we didn't discuss because Melody and Martell asked us not to discuss that. And so we was like, fine. I mean, if y'all don't want us to discuss it, we want. But it put us in a bad position because they asked us not to discuss that, but we didn't know that they was discussing what Melody was discussing it with the producers. So we're filming, and the producers are like, this is reality TV. We know what's going on. Y'all gonna have to talk about this. And so it's like, what do we do? Because they asked us not to talk about it, but then we have.
Then they came in and said, hey, listen.
Y'all gotta
talk
about
this.
Right.
And so even like stuff like the car wash scene where we're like, oh my God, did you?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, fool, But see, that goes back to who we are. That goes back to who we are and what kind of friends we are. Because we're not the friends. We're the friends that says, hey man, I don't want to talk about this on TV. It doesn't get talked about on TV.
Right.
Bottom line. You know what I'm saying? We're not the friends that be like, oh, I know something. I'll tell you about this later. I expose it. We're not those guys, and we never have been. And so that's where you kind of see that flip now. It's like it's not. I'm not finna go, you know, be a bitch and start just, you know, just telling business. But I'm saying, hey man, like stop.
Yeah.
Like because even if you say that you have some things that you can accuse me of without proof, without receipts, without anything like that,
Mm-hmm.
And let's say you have one thing that you can accuse me of. I have 50,000 things that I know and accurate that I'm sitting back holding saying, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like the person that you are giving the most to is trying to take the most from you.
Mm.
And so that's why I'm saying, like, listen, at some point, man, look, y'all gonna have to stop messing with Marsau.
So I think it was just a matter of time while we was filming. I think it was just a matter of time before it was like, okay, well, let's start putting this back on. Let's start saying this about them and let's bring this on them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I just said that. We've never done that.
I'm saying we didn't know. Like, we was shocked and we was like, oh, so this is the direction we're going in. And I mean, to me, it was like, welcome to reality TV.
And you know, the funny thing about it, like I said, to reiterate, till this day, we have not volunteered any extra information about anybody. You know, Tisha did say that BMW comment.
Right, because I was, yeah.
But the crazy part about that is that the way she got the picture was from Melody.
Oh, wait a minute.
Right. Mel did when her woman's intuition after old girl called and she started doing all this different digging. She found all these different receipts. She shared those with Tisha during that time of bonding.
Okay.
And so then when she started going off her in the coffee house, like, oh, maybe you need to roll up and start doing it. She's like, well, maybe you need to go check on that BMW. Because if we're throwing shots right now, we're throwing shots. And it's the same shot. I mean, she threw a shot back with her own bullet. So
yeah.
But nothing. We're not like that though, man. Now we don't want to fight amongst friends. There's so much more we believe that we can talk about and discuss as it relates to marriage, love, business, and things like that than just this same thing over and over and over and over.
I guess it's because, you know, when I talk to Carlos, it's like that storyline, them being the focal point in this power couple, and that the breakdown of their marriage. I think it's been hard to watch. I know it had to be hard for you all to watch. Marsau, even in the middle of all this, you and Martell seem cool. Like the problem seems to be the women, which is really weird.
Yeah.
Really, Martell is the one that, you know, brought the situation to fruition in the relationship, and he's fine with everybody. The problem ended up being Melody, who actually was the victim, which is ironic.
I think that I have a God given ability, and I don't know if this is really God. I ain't gonna put it on God, but I changed my expectations of people almost instantaneously.
Yeah.
So the second you lie, or the second I realize you're a liar, I treat you exactly like a liar.
Right.
And I never expect the truth. I won't even ask you because I know that in this vein, this is who you are. Right. You know, so and I think that's the way that I protect myself. So it's gonna be hard as hell to hurt Marsau twice.
Yeah. Listen, Maya Angelou said it the best. Once people show you who they are, believe them the first time.
Yeah.
However, Martell did come to us and apologize to us off camera. So at that point, we was like, "Oh, this is just not for show. He's sincere." Yeah, so that's why I've been able to move forward with Martell, because he came to us. He's like, "Listen, what I did was wrong. You know, I did X, Y, Z." And so I'm like, you know what, Martell, you did what you did, but I appreciate you coming to apologize.
Right. And the truth is, I can forgive, I can forget, and I can move forward. But what I won't do is lose the lesson.
Right.
So once you punch me in the face, I realize you have the capacity to punch me in the face.
Right.
And so forever, you'll never get that chance again.
I think that's fair. That's just smart. Like, I'm not, you know, I'm not going to be a fool. A couple more questions about, obviously, Marsau, why in the world would you have put the picture out? Not saying that we didn't appreciate the tea, but my first thought was, oh my gosh, Tisha, you know, like and because the picture made it look like what this other woman has been saying, who really loves talking about this whole thing on social constantly, is making it seem like everything that she's been saying is true. It was like it was ammunition for her, and it definitely did not bode well for your brother.
But Kristen, what you have to realize is that at the reunion, when we was talking about the guys' trip to Atlanta, like
Right.
I knew about the guys' trip. Kimmy knew about the guys' trip.
Right.
And so when I was in the room talking to Marsau, I said then, I was like, why would Marie say he wasn't there? Like, you guys took a picture together. Like, I saw it in his
But okay, but
before he even posted.
You didn't know that. Did you know that the Martell's girlfriend was there also?
I know. So she wasn't there at that particular
She wasn't
trip.
there at that time.
Okay.
No, I think she did come because I talked to Martell. She did come later on. But the difference is, like,
well, no, I didn't know she was there.
Here's what's crazy about it. Okay, here's what's honestly crazy about it. We were taking a regular guys trip. Okay. We had no clue that. First of all, this is our first time meeting her. Okay. So we seen her in the club before, but this is our first time putting them together. Mm-hmm. We had no clue that anybody was bringing sand to the beach. And so all of a sudden, pop up, and Martell got somebody coming in town, and we're like, oh. And he like disappeared with her. So we're out there just regular, out just chilling. And then I don't even know who took the picture.
I'm about to say, did she take the picture?
She wasn't at the club. She wasn't even, so they got on social media capping. And he's like, and he gets on there tagging her. Because at first it was just an inside joke. We're laughing like, oh, Reese got you. But the reason why I did it, because we're in our minds, it's like, we know it was an innocent trip. And so I never expect people to lie. I just never expect a lie.
Okay. But at the point that you knew that he did not tell the truth.
Well, I knew he told the truth. That's just the way I joke, man. And then I can't stop it.
You won because
that joke gone wrong.
That joke gone right though. Right? Like that. I mean, come on, man. To me, jokes are like little bitty like fairies inside of a cage, and they just be like, "Tell me, let me out." And I mean, they look so innocent. I just gotta.
Tisha, what are you doing?
See, I've been dealing with this for over 16 years. So
oh my gosh. So that picture, it did the problem, it seemed to validate everything that this other woman was saying.
Because Martell tagged her
stop.
in the picture.
You know, she said this stuff after, right? You know, she said this stuff afterward, right?
She did.
After the picture came out, then she made up a story.
I don't know. I mean, she shared her side, but but Marsau, she has been sharing her side a long time.
Man, yeah. You know why? Because people people in their minds think that me, Reese, and Martell just hung out all the time, right. And she was just around all the time. We seen this chick like 3 times. Mm-hmm. We were family friends, so our families got together.
Gotcha.
Like, listen, I mean, I know this sounds crazy, but Martell doesn't smoke, he doesn't drink. We have been out a total of, we went to Atlanta twice, we went to Vegas, and then every other time it's been filming. So we literally have been out like 3 or 4 times.
Right.
Literally, just the guys.
Okay.
We don't hang out. Now, me, Reese, and Sadar, we hang out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Me and Reese, we hang out. But so it's so crazy. Like, oh, they were birds of a feather. Like, no, man, we really didn't flock with him.
Did you ever think, when you did become aware of what he was doing, because usually men are like, wait a minute, be sure that you keep what you got going on over there. Like, did you ever think, okay, he may get sloppy and that could come back to haunt everybody?
While still protecting my friend.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And his ex-wife's heart.
Yeah.
I will say this. From the very beginning, Martell wasn't he wasn't just dating a random girl.
Yeah.
You know? So our conversations, it wasn't like, oh man, I got this thing over here. It wasn't like that at all.
Yeah.
Martell's immediate move was that's why when Martell says I'm a good guy, the truth is he actually is. Mm-hmm. He literally was just conflicted, torn between 2 worlds.
Yeah.
You know, and he wasn't the guy that wanted to be with all these women. He was the guy that wasn't in love over here and was in love over here. And it wasn't, I'm playing the field. It was, I'm going.
Yeah.
And our conversation immediately was always, hey man, stop. Think about this. Look at this. Look at the situation. Watch this right here. And so his battle has been him crossing the fence and straddling the fence. You know what I'm saying? And going back and forth and back and forth. When the truth is, this is a man that's torn between two worlds.
Yeah. Well, I think that's apparent now. I'm going to get off of Martell because I think we saw that it was definitely more than he made it out to be. At the very least. But
he tried to pray that thing away.
Yeah. Okay. So, Tisha, first of all, can I just say that the comments, people are saying you absolutely look beautiful. Tisha's very beautiful, naturally beautiful. Orange color, you do look very beautiful. You always look very beautiful.
Thank you.
But I wanted to make sure we get some of these the comments in. I want to play this clip, and this is from I think the week before last, week before last, and then we'll talk about the clip after we check this out.
Like in a good mood because your mindset is like good now because you had some time away to yourself.
Yeah, well, I think that this trip to Africa, first of all, thank you for understanding that I needed to go alone.
Because I wasn't on board at first.
I know.
Like I just wasn't feeling it. I was like really upset. I was like, why do you have to go out of the country by yourself? Like those was like red flags going up. Like I've never been to Africa before, so it's like why wouldn't we do that together as our first time?
I just want to dismiss. Over there my phone doesn't work really. We're on a different time zone. And it's just like I wanted to break away from this.
I have a lot of responsibilities on me. So I think it would have been a nice trip for us to do together, but you didn't even offer, for us to do it together. It was just like it's something I want to do for me.
But you know what? I just needed to just get away. I've been feeling worn down, maybe depressed. You know what? Really depleted is the word. Work, COVID, and everything else going on in my life. So I really need to just take a step back, unplug, and reevaluate my life.
All right. If you guys are just tuning in, we are talking with the super couple here. We have LaTisha and Marsau Scott joining us. And we just saw a clip from Love and Marriage Huntsville where you all talked about Marsau's trip to Africa. Now, I want to say before we get into this clip, Marsau, we appreciate the fact that you have been a lot more transparent on social media recently and just talked about what I think a lot of people are dealing with, being able to just feel adjusted and having maybe a little anxiety or depression or being depleted from everything that we've been bombarded with as a society. I think still when we see alpha men say that, it's still it validates how a lot of other people feel that probably don't have the space to say that. I'm sure there are a lot of husbands out there that don't feel like their feelings are really important. So I appreciate you saying that. But watching that scene, I was like, that would have really hurt my feelings. As much as I know in a marriage, we need two individual people that come together and make each other happy or, serve each other. But still to think that your husband want to go to Africa without you, that would hurt my feelings. Why was it so important for you to do that by yourself?
Well, I'll say this, is that during that time, I'm a very cerebral person. And during that time, I had recently started my general contracting business. I was in the process of building 2 restaurants, starting Black, finishing the build out at Uptown, building a hotel, doing a hotel renovation, and building a 120 unit apartment complex. This is with a staff of less than 4 people, right? And this is my first time, and I'm teaching myself. Smack dab in the middle of that, we have COVID, where my kids are at home, wives at home, world shut down, a level of uncertainty. And on top of that, we moved into this little bitty ass house to where everything is on, it's on top of everything. And so honestly, I could not get a break in any aspect, nowhere. And then I'm filming on reality TV. I've got all of this stuff going on. And mentally, I'm drained. I'm simply tired. And I had to go then right now. I mean, I couldn't go to Puerto Rico I couldn't go to, I couldn't go to Dominican Republic. Hey, I'm gonna go take some time in Colombia, like whatever, right?
Yeah.
And so, and honestly, as smart as I am, I just didn't think. I didn't think about, like I was telling T, sometimes I'm not really selfish, sometimes just thoughtless. Like the picture wasn't selfish, it was just thoughtless. Like I didn't think about all the different things. I just thought it was funny, and to be fair, it is, but to be fair, but no, but so I had to go. And here's another thing that people don't want to get, but I'm gonna just say it because this is really how men feel. And y'all should talk to your husbands about this. When husbands goes on vacation with their wives and kids, they're not on vacation.
Why aren't they on vacation? They're doing what the wife wants them to do?
Because they're not leaving. They're not free. Because they're still responsible. They're responsible for getting this off the plane. They're responsible for making sure these people are safe. They're responsible for this. And there's a time in my life, I don't know everyone else's life. There was a time, there was 4 days in my life where I need to step away for a second.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
That's understandable. Are you going to go back and take Tisha with you? Because
we're going back. We're going back to we're going back.
So yeah, it was always supposed to be a planned vacation with the family, like the kids and I. So
yeah,
to pick up what he said, when wives go on vacation with the kids and the husband, it's not a vacation for her either. It is work.
Like we are definitely the children
Right.
number one. So yeah, nobody get. And kudos to you, Tisha, for allowing him. And he thanked you in that clip. I thought that was nice to say. I appreciate you allowing me to do that.
Yes.
That's big of you. That's what you should do. But it's not always easy because, from being a married woman and a single woman, when men go on vacation alone, a lot of times they enjoy the company of other women.
Mm-hmm. And that's where that trust comes in, right? Because at the end of the day, it's like, either I'm gonna trust you or I'm not. And if why am I married to you if I can't trust you?
Very true.
And when he told me, I wasn't on board at first, but once he explained it to me, it took some explaining. Right. I was like, you know what? Do what you got to do for your mental health.
Can we just say this one thing? And just I know you're year one and you're year 16. I'm just gonna be honest about men for a second.
Okay.
You don't have to go to another continent to cheat.
True.
Okay, so I'm saying literally. The same guy who says, "Oh, my man couldn't went to Africa because he out there with a side chick." I can tell you right now, dude got a work wife, and she got a work husband.
Right?
Like, don't start acting like they got 3 women cheating and all the other guys cheating. like you do know women cheat too, right?
Well, of course, obviously, because someone is cheating with the men. But I mean. Yeah, you're absolutely right. But I'm just saying, and I guess that would be true with girlfriend trips as well. When women go, when there's large groups of women, it attracts men. When there's large groups of men, it attracts women. That's just what happens.
When there's a single woman and a single man, they both attract each other. Like you don't think that women meet people at the grocery store? Of
course. But
gas station?
But as we see from you guys' friend Martell, who was very married, and this young woman was very single. A lot of times, times the married and the single connect. They should.
Baby. No. I'm saying it's like, don't let, if somebody goes to Africa, let safety be your concern, not cheating. Dudes ain't going to Africa to cheat.
You're right.
That's not the place.
You could go outside
I can only assume.
Right. And you're right. But I'm just saying, as a wife, you would think, okay, that's a really big trip. And that's something I would really want to do with.
Believe me, I was on board. I was like, can you go to Tennessee? Can you go to New York? Wherever.
I would honestly think that you probably had a better chance of linking up with somebody here in the States or at an exotic island than Africa.
That's probably true. That's true. But it really wasn't even about the cheating thing.
It was the loan factor.
Yeah.
And I get that part.
Didn't want to experience that with her. But I also, like I said, I appreciate the fact that Tisha understands he needs his own time. He just needs to do things that are for him. Let's take a little bit of a pivot because the chat is cracking me up looking for your mother, Tisha.
You're gonna have to get her on.
I definitely want to have her on, but I want to ask you first before I even start this conversation with your husband. Because as a woman, a lot of times the comments, everyone kind of holds you accountable for your mother's
right.
Which is fair because that's your mom and that's your husband. So how, before the show started, your mom does not seem to have a lot of respect or doesn't seem to respect the boundaries with your marriage. How were you dealing with that prior to us being exposed to it? Or
my mom lived an hour and a half away.
Okay.
So I kept them separate.
Okay.
Carlos King brought them together.
He saw the benefit of Mr.
Yes, at Kim and Marie's wedding.
Yes.
But her and Marsau, they've always had like a love-hate relationship.
What's he hate?
No, a love-hate relationship. So the best thing is she's my mom. Of course, I'm going to spend time with her. So I go to Birmingham or to Bessemer to spend time with her. Like normally when she's in Huntsville, she's here watching the kids, and then me and Marsau, we're gone, we're traveling, and she's here watching the kids for us. So she's, at first she wasn't around us as much, but due to Mr. King here, she's around a lot more now.
Right. But did you, oh my goodness, I am so sorry. My dog is really acted up.
It's like, I want some attention.
He was really acting up. But was there ever a point in time where you were like, Mom, you have to respect?
No.
Yes. So you guys see my mom personality on TV.
Yes.
I have told her over and over again, I pulled her to the side. I talked to her one-on-one, and I've also talked to Marsau as well. And they just tend to do what they want to do.
So my question is,
I'm like, I'm just gonna get out the middle of it. It is what it is. Like, y'all handle each other how y'all handle each other. And you guys are gonna see that on the show. Like the last episode when she was in the office talking to Marsau, I was just sitting there quietly because I was like, I'm tired of getting in the middle of them.
And you know what the thing about it is though? Why you wrestle with your dogs?
He never does this, and then today,
as soon as you say he never does it, there you go, never before. Hey, no, but real talk is like when you like if my dad did the same thing to Tisha, there's no way in the world I could sit back and be quiet. So I would say that there is a problem, and see, these are different things that inside of marriages, and that situation is on.
But I'm not sitting back being quiet. But how do you handle that? Because
you tell your mom to shut the hell up.
No, I love and respect my mom, and I love and respect my husband. So I speak to them in a respectful way and tone. But I mean, if they're going to do what they want to do, regardless.
Do you have children?
I do.
You have children? Have you ever had to discipline them?
Of course.
Now, even so, you didn't agree with their behavior.
I did not.
And you chastised them, but you still loved and respected them.
Of course.
So you can chastise someone, not agree with their behavior, and still love and respect them. Weird how that works.
That's a child.
Marsau, when you all recording, because that's one of the things I wanted to ask you guys about your love story, because we didn't get a chance to see that. Obviously, things had to be initially different. You all do seem to be comfortably at odds, you and Miss Wanda. That's where the relationship is. How was this like when you guys were courting? Was this different? Were you, because it just seems like that would be a difficult hurdle to jump if it was always this way with the parents.
I would say that she's probably about 85% of who she is normally. Like she wakes up every morning and chooses violence.
Oh my God. See?
Like violence is like she eliminates all options. I don't even think God puts anything but violence on her plate because he knows she's going to choose it.
But did she always do that, Marsau?
When I say always, what I'm trying to tell you is if she didn't, I'd be surprised. And that's why when people like me and Kimmy come in, like, well, what did you think she was going to do? Because in our eyes, this is what she does.
Right.
You know, it's like ice cold. Like if it was hot, I'd be concerned. Like I expect her to be that. And I've learned how to function within that. The only person that doesn't know what she's going to do is Tisha.
No, it's not.
Everybody else knows what to do.
You have to know at this point.
I'm used
You
to
have
my
to know.
mom. So like it's just like you have your kids, I would say, mommy, 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 and people be like, you don't hear that? Like, no, because
Right.
you're used to it. And so with her, I'm used to her behavior. So
but she's not used to people telling her, like, hey, get this, like, get her off me before I get her off me. Because I'm not used to her.
Have you ever noticed that it bothers? Do you think that Marsau is just really strong and it doesn't bother him, so it doesn't bother you? Do you think she's bothering my husband? Because it doesn't seem, you seem kind of oblivious to the fact that what she's saying could be hurtful if he really, was sensitive to it.
no, I have spoken to my mom several times about what she say and how she say things to Marsau.
See,
Yeah.
But my mom tends to be on social media like Marsau.
Yes.
And every single thing she hears, she is going to repeat it.
Right.
I've even told my mom, listen, don't come and tell me nothing else. I didn't hear it. They didn't tell it to me. I don't care to hear it. Like, honestly, like I block those things out because I don't want it in my spirit. I don't want it in my household. I had to say to her before, hey, we're not talking about this. My kids are upstairs.
Yeah.
You guys see it? I told her, Mom, you like the scene was on the patio. I was like, you're being disrespectful to my house and to my husband. But it's my mother. Like you can't. I'm not gonna cut my mom off.
And so here's the thing. Here's the
it's
challenge.
A tough situation to be.
Here's the challenge with that.
Tough situation. But
if you're a protector and a provider, then your job is to do your best to allow Tisha to handle the situation up until the point where it becomes my responsibility. And that's just how it is. And that's not going to be something that we agree on. That's going to be something that we're going to have a debate on, and she's not going to like it. But I'm going to say, very frankly, it's like once this starts to become a threat, because there are points when I believe that her mom oversteps the boundaries and hurts my wife. And so I can't be a husband and say, well, she gets to hurt you because she's your mom.
Right.
She's mine now. She's LaTisha Scott, not LaTisha Moore anymore. So she's in my name. So with that being said, I have the duty to protect her in that capacity against all enemies, foreign or domestic.
That's true. I can't argue that, but
that's just the facts.
That is true, and we do see him. Come to your aid or try to, but she, I think she's trying to come to your aid also. But it just is in a way that is definitely not respectful to marriage. I gotta say that. But I think she loves you, but a lot of the viewers do say, you can't allow your mom to talk like that to your husband, especially if she wants money from him.
Right.
But that takes us to another issue, that something that was a little unsettling the last episode. Your cousin. I'm like, okay, the mama is one thing because she's the mama, right? So we go through her mama pass, even though you may need to get with her a couple of times, but she's still your mama. But your cousin was way in line. Like what? Marsau, can you protect her against Kiki? Because Kiki is out of line.
You know what the bad part about it is?
Well, I want to say one thing before Marsau started talking. I mean, it is a disappointing situation, and unfortunately, she has someone who has hate for us that she's willing to bring anybody on the show to try to destroy us. If it's not my marriage, it's my reputation. My family is something. So it's a tough situation. And Kiki was asked to come on the show earlier by this same person to speak badly about me, and she declined. And she called and told me about it. However, this time, I guess she wants to be a part of the reality TV world.
And the thing about it is, I know that we're going to get blamed for a lot. We simply don't tell people's business. We don't do that. That's not really what we do. Her overall thing and what's going to be thrown around against us. And this is something this is a real situation.
Yeah.
This wasn't a friend who cheated, then started a reality show, and we're just helping them out. And it's kind of this right here. This is a real situation. This is a situation where our hearts were involved.
Yeah.
My heart was involved. And to see this flipped around and turned back on us, it's very hurtful.
Yeah.
And we weren't then, and we're not going to allow our reputation in that capacity to be tarnished. And so the Kiki situation, that's really tough for us, because that her and Tisha were pretty cool.
We was like sisters.
And there is something that's a lot deeper than what's being said.
Mm-hmm.
And we did our best to all parties involved. We were put in a very tough situation. I made the judgment call.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line is, and y'all seen the clips of it, is that I made the judgment call to inform our friends about something that she was struggling with.
Okay.
Because it impacted everyone's relationships. And it impacted us. It impacted everybody we knew,
mm-hmm.
and it would have impacted them.
Mm-hmm.
And so we said, hey, here's a heads up. And then it gets twisted, like, ooh, girl, they was laughing and joking, and that's not true. And they know it. Reese and Kimmy were there when
mm-hmm.
it happened.
Mm-hmm.
And that, I'm sure hoping they can recall that situation. I know Reese can. But beyond that, what I'm saying is that, because I talked to Maurice. Macy, stop. But beyond that, what I'm saying is that the Kiki situation is really tough because it's actual family.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can hint at a lot of stuff right now, but
yeah.
I hate how it's going to end for her.
That was in a clip, and Tisha actually refused to say what you had shared about her before because you didn't want to say it on camera.
No, I didn't. I don't want to bring that to TV.
Yeah.
And I was hoping she wouldn't bring it to TV
mm-hmm.
because I know the heat we've been getting just off of rumors.
Right.
So when people start pulling up your past and start pulling up facts, and she has a family, and like, I love her kids. Like, this is my first cousin. Her dad is my mom's brother. We have the same grandparents.
Yeah.
We were like sisters. And unfortunately, our decisions in life has taken us on two totally different paths, mm-hmm. but it's still love there. And I still want what's best for her. So her situation, she's asking me about it. I'm like, I'm not going to talk about it on camera. If you want to talk about it, you talk about it. It's your life, your decision, but I'm not going to do it.
The bottom line is, media is totally different now than it was before.
Yeah.
The second you show yourself on TV, people are.
Yeah. 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 They are. They definitely are. But I respect you not doing that, because not bringing it back up, Tisha, and letting her do that.
Mm-hmm.
Because there is such a thing, like, even if we're not friends, that doesn't mean that I tell your business. That doesn't mean, even if we're no longer,
absolutely,
like, that is a character problem. So
right,
absolutely,
right, and that's the character problem on us.
Right,
that's because of who we are.
Right.
Like the people that we are. Like, when if I know something about you and you say something about me, if we got a problem, I'll fight you in the middle of the street before I told your business.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm definitely like that. Like, I don't understand that. Like, first of all, we're family, so you should never go talk about me with someone else. Even if you think I'm wrong, you don't go. That is like an old school, like, you don't.
Bruh.
No.
Like, so that threw us.
And they think that the battles between cousin and cousin.
Mm-mm.
It's the battle between millions of Black Americans who understand that I don't care what you did.
Yeah. You just
I'll never side against my family.
I'm not going to do that. And if I do side, I'm going to pull her to the side and tell her she's wrong. I'm not going to go to someone else's house and talk bad about my family.
I'll beat somebody down in the street, and on a car ride home, be like, Reese, you were dead wrong.
Yeah. Especially someone their purpose is to get you to speak badly about your family.
And then just gaslight her, pulling them strings. She did what?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Tell me.
Tisha, were you hurt when you saw that clip? When you actually saw it?
Yeah, I was absolutely hurt, because one reason I was hurt, because Kiki actually called me after that scene happened, mm-hmm. and she told me what everybody else said about me, what everybody else had their opinions, but she never told me what she said. She was like, I can't remember. Mel was trying to get me to say something, but I can't remember what it was. I don't remember exactly what I said. So she never told me what she said. And so I'm like, okay. So then, as you guys are going to see, me and Kimmy had a scene.
They see it last week.
Oh, it was last week. Me and Kimmy had a scene. And then Kimmy was telling me, well, you know, listen, I don't know what's going on with you and Kiki, but she had a whole bunch of stuff to say about you. And I was like, wow, really? Because I thought we was good. Because I brought her onto the show. She spoke at my Hey Brown Girl event. So I know she wants to be a speaker. So I'm like, I will help you out any kind of way I can. You know what I'm saying? So I was kind of disappointed. I was like, wow, okay. So when this coming up tomorrow, when I talked to Kiki about what she said, I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
We've had our issues in the past. You can't seem to forgive me for stuff. And at this point, let's just cut ties. You know, ain't no sense of us trying to.
I hate that though. I hated to see that. I saw that clip.
Yeah.
But I hated that because when you and Kimmy had that moment at the reunion where you were, you know, she was like, well, if it was regular circumstances, we probably wouldn't be friends. And you were like, that's fine. We don't have to be. I was like, no, yeah, you know, there is value in family. I heard your quip about, you know, sometimes blood is thicker than mud, or mud is thicker than blood, which can be true, but we're trying to change that perception, right? You know,
blood should be thicker than mud.
Right. You guys are doing a lot to, I feel the intention of you all trying to really show Black families and put us in a different light, break generational curses and, you know, take us to another place. And we can't really do that with families not sticking together. You know, that doesn't really make a lot of sense. So hopefully, I hope that you all will be able to find a place where at least there's respect, you know.
Yeah, I hope so too. We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll watch it play. We'll watch it play out together.
That's gonna be possible, but highly unlikely. Because
I've been forgiving situations for the past 8-9 years, and I'm like, I'm done. Like, I can't keep putting myself mentally, you know, putting myself in the situation with you. Either we're going to move forward, or we're just gonna, or every time you see me, you want to keep looking backwards, and I can't keep going backwards with you.
Do you guys think that, you know, a lot of people don't have strong marriages in their family? Do you think that people are jealous or not familiar with an actual successful marriage? Because in a marriage, you actually are supposed to put your spouse first. They're supposed to come before your family. They're supposed to come before parents. They're actually supposed to come before children, if you look at it the way the Bible preaches. But
I would say, by definition, people are not exposed to success in general. Okay. And then when you see success, it's always sensationalized with a little hint of a backstory. And so you hear that Steve Jobs worked in a garage and now boom, there's Apple, right? But you don't see all the different steps he took, all the bad leases they signed, all the money they borrowed from uncles, and you know, the time that they walked out of a place without paying for software because they needed this, or evictions or bankruptcies. You don't see that aspect. And so what we thought was that, hey, why don't you ride in the car with us? We know we're going to make it, but you can ride in the car with us, and you can see what we hoped that people would see is that, oh, they argue over where you put the toilet paper too. Right. They get upset about lights being on and, you know, different things too. So maybe we're not that bad. Right. Versus looking at this big old picture of this great couple with, you know, what Bill and what's up, like the Huxtables. Right. You know, looking at the Huxtables, which is fictitious, but looking at Will and Jada, looking at all the different relationships, and then saying, dang, I thought they were perfect. No, man, nobody's perfect. Right. At the end of the day, like the real deal is President Obama may leave his socks on the floor, and Michelle may be tired of picking them socks up. She probably, that's the real deal. And she learns how to not talk about it while she other places, and they hug outside in public. So that's what you can gather from different relationships if you see them in their authentic views. Like, we love each other, and sometimes we don't be liking each other.
That's real. Marsau, when we first were introduced to you all, the roles were different. I talked to Tisha a few times about the fact that we had a chance to kind of see her blossom. And yes, she still has children. The children are still small, so that's still a priority. But we see her stepping more into a role of kind of, having her own, coming into her own. And that was beautiful to see. I think a lot of women related to that. How have you all managed to kind of change the dynamic so that it does allow both of you, because you're chasing a lot of things that are, huge. Marsau, you talked about with all the different jobs, but now we see Tisha's, got her own thing going on, went back and got her another degree. How have you managed to kind of shift your dynamic to make room for her? And then for you guys to find another dynamic, that works best for the both of you guys in this season?
Well, I think that the biggest things that we were able to do is DoorDash and house cleaners.
I am with that.
Thank you.
Tisha spends on DoorDash like she sells drugs.
So there you go.
Like real talk.
Why are we martyrs? Tisha, women are Black women, we are martyrs because
if it ain't man, whatever.
Yes.
Y'all.
We have to make it do what it do.
Y'all. Literally, I'm telling you, house cleaners, DoorDash, nannies,
yep,
all these different things. That's how you do it. So
building a team.
And so what's crazy is when I say you're outsourcing motherhood, I got ridiculed, but
so I don't like that word.
Thank you.
I don't like that.
No one does. No one likes that.
No
one likes
that's not really what that is, though. Motherhood is if I can have a house cleaner come in so that I can actually spend more time with my daughter or my.
But you're not though.
Yeah.
You're spending more time on your work.
No.
That's what you're doing.
No, we still have our events that we do, with the kids. We still have our outings. I still make sure I'm home when the kids get home from school. So I still have some things that's non-negotiable. But we're just balanced. I'm just trying to balance it.
So she's not tired. So she's actually able to enjoy the kids, because when you are doing all that other, you are
tired,
exhausted.
Yes.
Yes.
You know what's weird?
What?
You know what's weird?
What is that?
You know, guys actually get exhausted too.
We know, but that's why she was supporting. You wanted to go. And
no, but that's once. Yeah. That's once, right?
Okay.
You know that guys actually know.
When he wanted to go to Africa to clear his mind, he packed his thing and left. When I want to go on the trip, I have to make arrangement for the kids, for the dog, for the household, like everything. Then I pack my things. Then I leave.
Yeah.
It's totally different.
Now to be fair,
right, Marsau, I'm on Team Tisha.
Okay, right. But see, the problem is y'all don't see all the stuff that we do. All the stuff that we do.
Right.
And here is this is what guys feel like, right? Mm-hmm. So think about this. I got a picture on my social media that shows me putting Tisha on my shoulders and me carrying both my kids in the side and then mother daughter up here. And my job, honestly, is to not just put my family on my shoulders and then complain about how tired my legs are, but it's to really just to internalize that and try my best to make the road as smooth as possible. So when I'm walking through mud, when I'm walking through the rocks with no shoes, whatever it may be, I'm still trying to carry my family to the point where they don't have complaints. And then, you know what the reward is sometimes for dads?
The big piece of chicken?
No. It's, dang, I wish dad was here. Dang, I wish dad. Like, fool, I'm down here carrying you.
Yeah.
And so sometimes that's why dads cook on Father's Day and take mothers out on Mother's Day.
I said we do realize there's a stereotype of like happy spouse, happy wife, happy life, but it shouldn't be happy spouse, happy house.
Right? Yeah. Oh, okay.
I think it should, because we are hearing a lot of men are not often talking about the fact that they're not happy and they're not supported, and they should be. Mm-hmm. So I think that's a cultural thing. And thank you, Marsau, for being someone that has stood up and said, I'm dealing with this, so other men can feel comfortable saying that. I've heard
they feel
a lot of men have said, I don't feel like I'm supported. I'm always the one that has to make sure everybody's okay. Yeah. it should be happy spouse, happy house on both sides. But
I like that.
yeah, we had a chance to kind of see her grow into, kind of finding herself and finding that new identity outside of being a wife and a mother. And we know that you want her to have that. So in the same token, we see you all marriage allowing for both of you guys to grow and to expand. And that's a positive thing.
To be honest, I'm gonna say this, just to clear the air. She's owned a 12-unit apartment complex since 2010. She's had rental houses, 16-unit apartment complexes with MJS LLC. And so as a stay-at-home mom, she's still been heavily involved in the real estate game and doing all this stuff for years, for 8 years, 9 years before y'all saw her, 8 years before we filmed. And so the idea that she was a stay-at-home mom, but she was a stay-at-home property manager, owner, business lady at the same time. You know what I'm saying? So she was afforded the right to be.
That's still an entrepreneur. That's still an entrepreneur, Tisha. I want to ask you guys the last question, or lead up to my last question, because you didn't answer before. No, this is a good one. I don't think we got a chance to see you guys' love story. So I'm going to start with you, Marsau. What was it about LaTisha that made you fall in love with her all those 16 years ago? And I asked Tisha, what was it about Marsau that made you open up to him and to fall in love with him as well?
When I first saw Tisha, I thought she was, I've always maybe colorist, but I like just dark skinned women. I love brown sugar girls. And I saw T come in to work one day. I see her the first day, her hair wasn't done, so I kind of didn't notice. But then one day she came in, she was wearing this pink sweater and these gray pants. And we worked at a call center. And I was just standing up and I saw her walk in the door and I could not stop staring at her. Like, sort of creepy, sort of love, but at first sight, but sort of creepy, all the way to her seat. And when she walked past, it was like I had no game for her. I was like, man, you look like a real woman. And I always knew that she was just so strong in my eyes. She was always just confident and beautiful and just glided through earth. And I've always loved that aspect of her.
Oh, babe.
That's beautiful. What was it about? Did you notice him staring stalkerishly?
No. No, he slid me his number and I was like, on a note, he gave me his number on the note. And I was like, and the first thing I said to him, I was like, your suit is too nice for you to have on them dusty shoes. So and then he gave his number, and I was like, oh, what make you think I want to call you? And he was like, hey, use it, but don't if you don't want to. And then like one night I just called him and we was on the phone and he just had me like cracking up the whole night. And so I had like a list of things I wanted in a boyfriend, a future husband. And Marsau really checked a lot of those check marks on the list. Yeah. And when you ask for a hard worker, I didn't know everything that came with a man working hard, complaining that he's always working. But that's what something that really attracted me to him, because in college, like he was flipping a house and we just vibe, like we just talk and we just laugh. And it was my senior year in college, so I really wasn't looking for a relationship because I was ready to graduate and move on. But it happened so fast with us. We was just like, neither one of us was really looking for a relationship. It honestly just happened. Yeah,
we met in February. We started dating exclusively in July. I proposed in August. We got married the next September.
Yep.
Yay.
Yep.
16 years later.
Beautiful.
Yep.
What? Because I know we don't have to actually talk about this specific time, but I'm sure in those 16 years, both of you have probably just thought about what it would be like not to be together, or maybe something got bad and you were like, I don't know if I can do this. What is it about your relationship that makes you say, this is not going to, we're going to make it through. We're going to be that couple that actually does make it through to the end. What is it about the two of you that makes you, I'll start with you, Tisha. If you've had a time in that 16 years, you're like, man, I'm done. I'm about done with Marsau.
Oh yeah.
What is it
For me, the first 5 years was so hard because you have two totally different people from different backgrounds coming together as one. And I was raised like my mom. I have like 7 different aunties, very strong, strong-willed women that speak their mind and they ain't taking that from no man. So I had to adjust to become Marsau's, the wife of Marsau. And we had our son like within our first year of marriage. So it was difficult trying to adjust to make it work. But at the end of the day, when I used to get upset with him, I was like, listen, I may not like you right now, but I actually love you. I love this man. So I know that at the end of the day, I don't like you. Let me have my space. You have your space, but we got to figure it out because I love you and I want to do life with you.
Yeah, I like that.
Marcel, I think that, I mean, it's been every now and again so that comes to a head. Hey, we had a really tough argument a couple of days ago.
Yeah.
And it was a tough. It was one of those just like, why am I here type things, and we made up, and it goes like that sometimes when there's while you're still growing together, while you're facing major transitions in your life. And sometimes outside noise, sometimes inside noise. So the first 5 years is about adjusting, but now we're starting to learn each other again. Yeah. And it's like this passage in the Bible where he talks about it was in the potter's hand and it was broken and he made it again a new vessel. Yeah. And it's like, sometimes in our marriage that things happen and we say, dang, but we look at this, this lump and say, hey, we can make this thing again. We got this thing like, well, let's just do it again. Like, fuck it, let's just do it again. Like, what else we gonna do? Yeah, let's just do it again. Like maybe we can do it right the next time. Maybe we can show each other we love each other more. Maybe we can get out of the selfishness of wanting to be loved and give more love. Yeah, and give it unselfishly, and maybe in return we'll be loved like we want to be loved. Yeah, so maybe I'm gonna tell you something. After a lot of times, after all these apologies and you messed up last time, you messed up this time, and you start arguing at me, and you didn't come home, early enough, and you didn't spend time. After all of this stuff goes back and forth, the hardest part is deciding who's gonna go first this time.
I'm sure. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then sometimes you gotta say, fuck it, I'll go first. I love you.
But that's maturity. That's maturity. Yeah. Chris Rock's last stand-up, he said, you got to play your role, and sometimes your role is a tambourine. You got to be okay with that, doing that sometimes. Tisha, I love the fact that you acknowledge a lot of us, myself included, did not grow up around strong marriages. I grew up with a very strong mother that did not have to respect a man in the house because there wasn't one in the house. Right. So all I saw was women leading the house. So when you get married and you haven't seen that, not only can it be difficult for you to learn, but it also like you gotta respect my husband, and that's not an easy thing when the family tradition has not been to do that. Yeah. So I recognize that when I see your example, I'm like, I can relate to that because I have to tell my mom like it's my husband's house, so he can, my mom would get angry if my ex-husband had a beer in the house. Like, this is his house. He can have a beer. He wants to have a beer.
Listen, so we're gonna have to talk offline about this with the situation.
But that's a real thing that I think a lot of us have in our community, right? A lot of Black women are very strong and amazing and fierce, but we don't teach our daughters to be in a marriage and to allow the man to be the lead. And so that is a very real thing. And I think that, people have learned from your example. I think we continue to learn as we keep watching you guys grow. I appreciate you both for coming and being honest, and Marcel for allowing us ladies to to agree on certain things. But you made a lot of good points. Last question for you, Marcel. Because people hate hearing the rumors, I think because they don't like seeing Tisha hurt, but I think that Tisha is, not a fragile bird, but I think we just want to say we want the marriage to really work, right? You guys feel like you're at a better place now that everything is out with the other situation, and you guys are in a, the whole reunion was hilarious and a hot mess, but you all remain stronger than ever and intact. And it seems like moving on to a different place. Do you guys feel that, or do you think we'll be able to see that this season?
I don't know. Every other day you hear something different, and so it'd be great to say, oh, we're past the rumors, but they just keep coming up. They just keep coming up, and it's just so crazy. And I've never, I ain't gonna lie, like back in the day, man, 90% of the stuff that people said I did that shit, And so it ain't like nobody ever, everything on my credit report, I'd be like, what? Really? But no, it was there. It was legit, And so I'm never even like, I'm not, this is the new life for me. This is a new life for me. Just like, but I think that we're doing better now.
Yeah.
I think we're doing better now. I think that we're above the fray, and we're to the point where it's like, to me, it's like legit, man. Like, have somebody come forward. Have somebody say, don't say anonymous allegations. Like, give me a name. Let's run this thing through the ringer. If not, just go ahead and shut up, dog.
Yeah.
So, but other than that, we got so much other stuff to do. We got so much other business to do. We got so much other stuff to move forward with. Black is doing very well. Black Chocolate in a Bottle is doing very well. But if you guys want to just go grab it. Tisha wrote a book, I'm Enough. It's a book / journal, and it helps young ladies really look at themselves in the mirror and realize that, who you are, you're enough. Do your best and become the best you. And that's going to be enough for the right person, or that's going to be enough to navigate you through life. So, just these different things that we're doing. I mean, above all the crap, man, we still moving forward.
Well, I definitely hope I get a chance to come down and hang out with you guys at Black. I'm really proud of you all for that. We got to taste some as well. I was like, get a bottle.
Yeah, we got to see you.
It is so
good.
Get
your information.
It is so good, really.
I can't wait. I told Tisha about this the last time. I was like, I got to taste it. I want to definitely support. We have to support. As Black people, we have to support each other's businesses. We have to do that.
Yeah,
and
we do, right?
Well, I know. I see you doing that.
No, I'm saying like Black people support other Black people.
We can do it more. We can do it more.
I agree.
More. I agree. We do more than we get credit for. But I love that it seems as though ever since we saw a lot of things happening in our culture that we did not like. We saw that people started really stepping up and saying, we got to put our money we got to keep our money in our community. So we can do it more. We can continue to do it more. And the show gives people an opportunity to see what that kind of could look like.
Yeah.
I think that's a beautiful thing. So we're very proud of you all and definitely want to continue to support. And you guys have to just weather it through, weather it all through, because now it's not just for your family. It also is for so many people that are watching and seeing that couple make it through the BS means a lot.
They're rooting for us. They were all rooting for us.
Yeah, they are.
Ain't nobody rooting for us, girl. Ain't nobody rooting for us, girl.
No, absolutely.
There's people rooting for us.
Even sometimes the people that have the worst to say, it's because that's all they've seen, right?
Right.
So they don't want, a lot of the people don't want the rumors to be true. They just are used. That's usually what we see, right? With President Obama, we were all, I'm not going to lie, I'm surprised. Nothing came out. And that felt so good for us to be able to see a marriage that, not that everybody has to be perfect, because you're not, you're human, but it just feels good to see someone say, we're going to stick it out. We mean more to each other than not. I appreciate that. And I know that so many people, for me having relationship conversations all the time, will appreciate seeing some positivity there. Positivity is not perfection.
Right.
It just means that I'm dedicated to doing the best that I can every day.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. It's beautiful to see. And we love you all for being that for us at this time, especially in the midst of a lot of other shit going on.
Right.
In the midst of a lot of other things. I hope that we all see Martell get to a healthy place, and we see Melody, see them learn to co-parent. I've gone through a divorce. That's not easy. Co-parenting is not easy at all. So my heart goes out to them, but we also got to see some people that make it through. So we appreciate you guys. I definitely look forward to being able to sample and to promote what you guys have going on, and hopefully we'll get a chance to come hang out with the Libra couple.
Yes.
I'm telling you, there's something about the Libra that I was like, I should have been dating Libras this whole time. I don't know why it took me so long to date someone that
but you finally got it together. So
God works it out. So I am thankful. You guys definitely keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you so much. We appreciate this, and thank you for having us together.
Thank you.
So
we really appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, you guys have a good night, and we'll talk soon.
Thank you too. Bye-bye. Talk to you later.
All right, you guys, thanks so much for watching. I've had all kinds of issues. I had a natural hair situation happening, and the dog is out of control, but it was a great interview. I really do I like all the couples on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Like I said, it's my hope that Melody and Martell are able to get to a more positive place. I don't really understand the cousin. That threw me off, because I don't feel like you ever side with someone against family for TV. So that's a whole nother issue. But kudos to Tisha for keeping her cool and remaining true to herself and not talking badly about her cousin. That's super lame. So anyway, I love you all for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me on a Friday night. I will see you guys on Monday. Now, I hope you guys watched Ready to Love, because we got some conversation to have on Monday. So please come back for Ready to Love on Monday. And we're definitely going to have Miss Wanda, and Destiny is coming up as well. So Destiny, I think, is next week. And we got to get Miss Wanda in here, because I see you guys are ready for Miss Wanda all the way. All right. I love you all. Have a blessed weekend. I'll see you right back here on Monday night. Have a good one.